So I did also want to ask, uh, because in your article you talk about the that there's well, you talk about a cultural problem in this country,
Yeah.
and I'm wondering where you think the nation or this country is today as it relates to that problem, given that even as your article and justice rights work talks about the problem of the presence of whiteness, there is still something else going on, because as you and I and others just unfortunately witnessed, it was a very black woman that presided over the most recent denial of Mumia Abu Jamal's rights. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering what you think about where we are in terms of any changes since Wright was writing, or any shifts in the application of this cultural problem with custody and incarceration of black people.
I don't think that we can afford to ignore the uh, the corrupting impact of capitalist mindset on black minds. When black minds uh, become captured by capitalist mentality, then that skews our sense of social justice. And I think that what we saw with uh, Judge Lucretia Clemens and our brother Mumia, and what I think we have seen in other contexts, uh, is the impact of, and Justice Wright mentioned what white judges were doing, but please understand that if you are black and you subscribe to the same mindset, the same value system, if you believe that the banking system is right, then you're going to basically believe that anything that helps the banking system in the so-called criminal punishment, I don't say a criminal justice because it's not a justice system, it's a criminal punishment system. In the criminal punishment system, has to be useful if it is financed toward a banking community. So capitalism can really cloud your mind. I think what we see here is a mindset. I've written a piece that will come out later in the year, in a book that I've co-written with my brother Alan Buzak from South Africa, where I talk about Judge Clemens' position, because she didn't have to go that way. I mean, she had every reason to find that the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania had violated the Constitution by, number one, concealing evidence that would have been exculpatory, that would have tended to point toward Mumia's innocence, and that the Commonwealth, through its prosecutors, engaged in race discrimination during jury selection. The evidence was there. She just refused to believe it, and went so far to say that even if she had all the evidence and believed it, she still would not give Mumia a new trial. Now, Brother Jared, Mumia had another judge 40 years ago who was white, Judge Arthur Sabo, who used the N-word in chambers to another judge and said he was going to help them fry that N-word, okay? A court reporter overheard that. Judge Clemens in 2023 is doing the same thing that Arthur Sabo did in 1982. The difference is that Judge Clemens is not only in 2023, she is a black woman whose grandfather was lynched in Mississippi. So you can get your doggone mind messed up. You know, you can become a turncoat. You can become a hater with a law degree and a black robe and black skin. And you can do a video affirming your Catholic faith and talking about how much you believe in freedom and still do what Judge Clemens did, which is what really I find offensive, because to tell you the truth, Mamiya didn't need Judge Clemens to be, quote, liberal. He just needed Judge Clemens to be truth-telling. All he needed was for Judge Clemens to say, wait a minute. Since 1963, the United States Supreme Court has said that you have a constitutional right to have the evidence that points towards your innocence disclosed to you by the prosecution. And if the prosecution doesn't do that, you have a right to have your conviction overturned. She didn't need to be anything except honest and fair and said, that's the law. That law governs. It governs cases, whether it's property offenses or offenses of violence. It governs in Pennsylvania and in New York and Arkansas. And these facts control, and I'm going to apply the law. That's all she had to do. And Brother Mamiya would then be entitled to a new trial. I argue that because he would be entitled to a new trial, he would be entitled to a new conditions of release hearing. Hello? This is why Judge Bruce Wright's important. And if you have Judge Bruce Wright's mindset, you ask the question, wait a minute, this is Mamiya Abu-Jamal. He's a world famous author known around the world. He's taught from prison. He's gotten degrees in prison. Release him, give him an address, give him a court date. Mr. Jamal, I'll see you next court date.